everyone, and welcome to another episode of Turn Left. I am your host, Indiana's own Dana Black, coming to you live. Yes, all the way live from Black Pearl Studios, where we talk about Indiana politics from the left side of things. Happy New Year, Hoosiers! 2022 is here. We gonna rip it up. We gonna tear it up. We gonna do our thing in 2022. There's ain't no stopping us now. Come on now. We gonna get her done.
We're on it.
It's gonna take some work, and we're gonna have to do a lot of work. It ain't gonna be easy, but we can get her done. So let's go into the new year with the right amount of energy and the right amount of focus on improving lives. So I got a rant. Let me do my rant. Well, your governor came out this week with his agenda, and he highlighted 5 different areas. Obviously, he wants to focus on economic development. He highlighted the taxpayer refund coming to 900,000 Hoosiers. Okay, this is a state of 6 million plus, so I'm not sure why only 900,000 Hoosiers, but who will automatically receive it this year due to the 2021 tax surplus. It seems a little small at only 900,000. That's not even the entire city of Indianapolis. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. I'm sure he'll explain it later, but I got something for that. He wants to strengthen early learning opportunities to best prepare children for kindergarten. So basically, is he saying he wants pre-K? Finally? Maybe? Lieutenant Governor Crouch spoke about mental health priorities and plans to implement comprehensive support for mental health. I'm going to be honest with you. I believe that she really wants to do this, but she doesn't have a track record of following through on some of her initiatives. I'm still waiting for that broadband. I'll talk about that later. The governor also wants to strengthen guidelines for childhood lead screening and reduce infant mortality by requiring more comprehensive autopsies for sudden unexpected infant death investigations. Of course, we know last year there were several pieces of legislation that were introduced addressing the lead issues, actually over the last couple of years. So he's kind of piggybacking off of some of that, which is good. Let's give credit what credit is due. His agenda calls for more collaboration between local governments to strengthen cybersecurity protections and roll out a $500 million regional economic acceleration and development initiative program in 17 regions. I think this is probably a good thing as a tech person. I think we're better off if we work together and kind of unify and streamline some things, because cybersecurity is real. And some of our smaller communities, our smaller municipalities don't necessarily have the resources to manage that. I know a couple of years ago, one of our counties they got cyber hacked and ransomware, and so having some state support might help these smaller communities. The governor wishes to better connect communities by completing roads, bridges, trails, and broadband projects. I'm still waiting on that broadband project. I'm still waiting. This was supposed to be a high priority for the lieutenant governor way back in 2016. We still have not, and the COVID crisis pandemic showed us that we still have not addressed high-speed internet at the rate that we really, really need to. He also wants to include more civilians in the law enforcement training board. This is a good idea. This is great, because sometimes people get caught up into their ability to be law enforcement. They put that uniform on and they lose their mind and they forget that we're talking about humans. So this will be good, but it's got to be the right humans. It can't just be a monolith. So those are some of the initiatives the governor wants to talk about. And the House Democratic leader, Phil Giaquinta from Fort Wayne, said Governor Holcomb's legislative agenda is a refreshing divergence from the priorities we've seen from the legislative Republicans, rather than the divisive culture war type of bills we've seen filed. He seems keen on improving early learning and public health outcomes for Hoosiers. So what is Representative Giaquinta talking about? Well, we already know that this legislature, these Republican supermajority, has already introduced bills that are focused on no vaccine mandates for corporations, no mask mandates fighting against the fictional teaching of critical race theory. They're attacking women's reproductive rights, and there's a boatload of anti-trans legislation out there. So Governor Holcomb seems to be at odds with his supermajority Senate and House, and we've already seen him fighting against Tyler Keeter earlier, late last year already, over some stuff. So I'm not really sure if the governor has a handle on his legislative body in the state house. I think they're just pretty much ignoring him. He seems to be more focused on the regular Republican issues. However, that isn't necessarily a good thing. During the press conference, he was asked about a potential proposed income tax cut for Hoosiers. And Holcomb says he'll see what the legislature comes up with, but that he's focused on reducing the business personal property tax, which he says impacts Indiana's competitiveness in attracting companies to the state. Okay, so what's wrong with this statement? Every time you ask him about doing something for the people, he reverts back to businesses. Don't get me wrong, businesses do need help, and they, especially our small businesses. But if you're not looking out for Hoosiers and the only thing you're focused in on are businesses, then you're going to miss out on people wanting to come and live in Indiana because the quality of life is crap. So you can try to make it all the business friendly you want, but if you're not doing what you have to do to attract people to come and stay in Indiana, they're not going to come. You can't keep attacking people and their individual liberties in the state house, Governor Holcomb, which you are not. I'm going to need you to go talk to your leaders in both chambers and see what you can come up with, because they're not listening to you. They're literally giving you the hand like, yo, we're not even trying to hear you, dog. So I don't know how much of his agenda and his plans for 2022 are going to get through. I imagine they're going to be like his 2016 agenda, his 2017 agenda, his 2018 agenda, his 2019 agenda, his 2020 agenda, his 2021 agenda. It ain't going nowhere. Businesses are going to get their tax cuts, and Hoosiers are still going to be struggling, and Democrats won't get any of their bills called. I'm just saying. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, Governor. That's all I ask. Prove me wrong. All right. So yesterday, I had a little time and while I was working, and I listened to the hearing on Senate Bill 167. Now, what is Senate Bill 167? Senate Bill 167 was introduced by Representative Baldwin, or Senator Baldwin, in reference to emotional learning and critical race theory. The bill also seeks to protect students from feeling uncomfortable because of personal characteristics or feel responsible for actions of those who share their traits. Phrasing meant to prevent white students from feeling blamed for slavery and persecution of people of color. Okay, so there's a whole lot wrong with his bill. First of all, nobody is teaching critical race theory, hence why he actually probably left the language out of the bill. It's a very smart thing to do because nobody's teaching it. Also, I've spoken to many teachers, and many teachers actually testified at this hearing yesterday, and they said they were not teaching kids to feel bad about who they are. They're just teaching history. And I know Baldwin he's picking up on what's been going on in Hamilton Southeastern and all that stuff up in Hamilton County. Again, this is a culture war aimed at suburban America because the Republicans lost suburban America in 2020. They're trying to get them back by, of course, using racialized fear mongering. It's what they do. They've always done it. They will continue to do it. And here we have now the mythical critical race theory. And now Baldwin has created this bill to address it. But you know, my dude, and I probably give him more respect because he is a senator. In response to questions from Senator J.D. Ford about how often the 8 points identified in the bill are taught in Indiana, Baldwin said he had received stacks of materials and hundreds of emails and calls complaining about lessons that his bill seeks to outlaw. I still haven't seen a lesson plan where anybody is teaching critical race theory. I haven't seen it, but you know, we already know that it's a whole bunch of small, loud people going into these school boards, raising a bunch of ruckus. It's a minority. It really is. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, if black folk or Hispanic folk or Muslims acted the same way that these white parents are acting, I'm just saying. Ford also, Senator Ford, he's my guy. Senator Ford also asked Baldwin why the bill did not include gender identity and sexual orientation in its list of protected characteristics. I mean, because you want to protect all children, don't you? Baldwin replied that the Republican caucus would not support such language. So let's be clear, his bill is only targeted for a certain group of people, not all students. Some of these students, good luck to you. Because if you're not going to address anti-trans legislation and LGBTQ plus issues in schools, then you ain't looking out for students. You're full of it. You're trying to gaslight us into believing that you care about a thing that you really don't care about. You don't care about it because all kids should matter, regardless of their sexual orientation or sexual identity, gender identity. Get out of here with that. Ford objected. I think leaving out those particular folks sends a very loud and clear message to students that their existence is not worth bothering to put in the bill. I agree with Senator J.D. Ford. He is on the ballot this year. Let's make sure we send him back to the Senate because, his voice is in there. And it's in there for our LGBTQ plus community. He's bringing up issues that most people don't think about it. But when you have a seat at the table, the conversation changes. And right now, he is our only elected LGBTQ plus member in our General Assembly. We got to support him. He's on the ballot. Let's make sure we donate to him and send him some money. All right? There's a lot going on. We're going to talk about the January 6th stuff at the end. But I want to make sure that I give my guest tonight. That's my rant. Oh, I probably should have said that. That's my rant. You know me, I'm going to always be focused on what's happening in the State House. We're in session. It started this week. Let's keep our eyes out. Listen, and I'm going to keep encouraging each and every one of you, get a group together. Just like y'all have a book club and y'all go read some books. You get your group together. There's lots of bills out there. Y'all divide that up. Y'all divide those bills up. And you can search by what is your interest. If your interest is women's reproductive rights, find out how many bills are out there attacking women or that deal with women's reproductive rights. If education is your thing, find those bills, divide those bills up. If the environment is your thing, find those bills. Make sure you understand. You don't have to do them all. You don't have to do them all. And if you're not even sure how to find them, listen, go to IGA, Indiana General Assembly.in. .gov, and you'll be able to see all the bills that are there. All right? Public knowledge. You don't have to act like you don't know. There's a place for it. If you can go on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, all these other places, go to IGA.in.gov so you can find out about the bills. Also, they live stream it. So if you're lucky and you're at home during the day and you don't want to get out in the COVID-ridden world, you can watch it live stream on the website. I watched today, and I know I said my rant was over, but I got to say this. They had a House Ways and Means Committee meeting today, and they were discussing a bill that dealt with funding for communities. And Representative Porter, my representative, introduced an amendment that would address underserved or minority communities in the bill. And it was about, offering a little extra assistance for those that are economically challenged. And some of our minority communities, we already know the report came out this week where housing, home ownership among Black Hoosiers in Marion County is down 30%. But white home ownership stayed about the same. There's a disparity there. So when you know that there's a disparity, he introduces an amendment. And honestly, I know I ain't supposed to say this because people get all bent out of shape, but he introduced a bill that dealt with the minority community, and the all-white Indiana GOP House Committee, Ways and Means Committee members, all white, voted against it. Now I'm just going to chalk it up to the fact that Republicans don't like anything the Democrats introduced that had nothing to do with race. I'm going to go with that because that's what y'all want me to say. I'm going to go with it. All right, Indiana's own Dana Black, that's my rant. All right, y'all, I'm excited about this. Competition is a good thing. You guys got to hear from the first candidate who was running for Marion County Recorder late last year. He's a good guy. We love him. But this week, We got the second candidate. See, I like competition. Iron sharpens iron, and we become better, and we can fight against that other side when we sharpen each other's skills. And I'm so happy that we have a candidate that is running. Ain't nobody's guaranteed a thing. Everybody got to earn their votes. Y'all, welcome to Turn Left. Candidate for Marion County Recorder, Faith James Kimbrough. Faith, welcome to the show.
We need that noise in the back. Woo! The clapping.
I love it. I love it. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Dana Black. Thank you so much for allowing me to come to the show today. And like you said, competition is good. It really is good. So I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. And you know what? One of the things I can say about the both of you, and I've had multiple conversations with both of you for over the years, and both of y'all are so sweet and kind and respectful. And that's all you can ask for is a competitive race that is respectful. All right. So enough about him. We're going to talk about you. Tell the people who you are and where you come from.
All right. So again, I am Faith James Kimbrough. I am a native and a Hoosier. I've been here all my life. I will tell you how old I am, but that might give it away. Actually, again, I've been here all my life on the east side of Indianapolis, Indiana. Never left the east side.
Okay.
I have one daughter. Her name is Kayla Kimbrough, and she is she was Army National Guard right now. And I also take care of my niece, and she's a nurse. So personally, that's where I'm from, and that's who I am right now.
Far East Side, what high school, Warren?
No, Lawrence Central High School, the Bears.
Oh,
The
well, I'm sorry.
Bears. It's the Bears.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. I'm sorry. Well, I'm a North Central grad, so you not, I.
Oh, wait. Yeah, that's
You know,
okay. It's okay.
we gotta have that Marion County rivalry going on.
Got to. We can do that later. We can do that.
So you know what? Being on the East Side and you've been here your whole life, talk about some of the things that have influenced how you see the world and how you see being of service to the community.
Great. Yes. So actually, speaking of the East Side, I am the founder of Reclaim Indy. And I founded Reclaim Indy because I wanted to be the bridge between the community and a lot of things that's going on. First point would be the police. There's, don't want to say police brutality, but I mean, it happens. There's a lot of killings. It happens. And so my daughter and I, what we did, we got together under Reclaim Indy, and we got together. We had a prayer around the circle just to pray against the violence and all of the things that's going on. Also under Reclaim Indy, there is a school cop. I had came up with a program called Cool Cop, and that helps the young people in the community, especially our young African brothers. They're out here. It's teaching them to not to disrespect the police, not to bully, and it's in a fun way. I created a little mascot called Barky, and Barky is the peace dog, and he would go wherever I would go and just give the kids, a sucker and just say, peace in the streets, and talk to them, take pictures with them. And I developed a children's book as well to go along with it. So these are the things that I do along with Reclaim Indy, along with crowdfunding. I raised thousands of dollars to pay for haircuts, to also pay for gas. I go to the hood, okay? 38th and Post Road. See me there at the gas station on the corner. I'm not afraid. I go there and we pay for people's gas. We pray with them, we encourage them, and we send them along their way. So again, I am a very huge advocate of the community and us being better. I also go and I interview for free small businesses because they typically cannot afford traditional advertising. So under Reclaim Indy, we go out and, if you just open up a salon or a bakery, we would go out there and just talk to, let people know that they're there. People will actually come out. We'll do something. Hey, if you say you saw Faith in action here or Reclaim Indy, we'll give you a free sandwich or a free sample. Definitely did. We have done several things on the Reclaim Indy. I'm not for sure if you remember that that store A&I that got broken into right there at 38th and Post on the corner.
I do.
When that got broken into, instead of them calling Channel 8, Fox 59, they called me. And I said, well, wow. And they said, well, can you come over here? Can you cover our story? We need help. Somebody has vandalized or broken in. And I was able to let the community know, let's come around this company. Let's help them. Let's gather together, find out who did it. still support them. And that probably did close to, well, I don't want to quote it, but it was, I mean, close to about 100,000 views. So,
Wow.
people, they see me, they see me as a anchor, or, I'm like, call the news, or Raphael Sanchez. I mean, I know I'm not him, but because I am very connected with the community, they feel very, very comfortable reaching out to me on all those regards. I mean, even as a mentor, I'm an author, of a book, and it's called Faith in Action. And I teach people, oh yeah, how to get the things that they want in life. So if there's something that you want and you haven't gotten it yet, you might need these 7 steps I got over here, Dana. I'm just saying, you
Hey.
might need them. So yeah, and so to answer your question, I hope you did. Just being on the east side of Indianapolis, Indiana, it has really allowed me to come along and just put my arms around the community and only do what I can do. It takes a village to raise a family, but I'm just glad to be a part of the family.
Wow. I mean, you hit on so many amazing things right there. I don't even know where to begin. I know that the community. I like the cool cop. The scenario that you use there. Do you actually have you been working with IMPD on this as well?
Well, I did, and I kind of want to revisit it. I talked to Mayor Hofstad about it a few years ago, and we'll have to kind of talk about it. But because there's a mascot, and their uniform actually is their mascot. So, but it's a whole full blown program from the adults all the way down to the children. We can just, like I said, we can talk about it. I would love to bring it back out and kind of dust it off, because Barky hasn't been on the scene in a while. But it's a very prominent program. So definitely would like to talk about it, and we can revisit it together.
I love it because when I used to work at the city county building, I worked in the IT department, and IMPD was my
Mm-hmm.
customer, right? They were the agency that I was responsible for, and I created amazing
Uh-huh.
relationships with humans who happen to be police officers, right? And
Mhm.
they'll never. I mean, I recognize what happens in these streets. I've been a victim of. No, I ain't even gonna say a victim. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time with a cop with an attitude when I was younger. And when I was working for them as their IT person, I had police officers acting whatever they wanted to act. But that's human behavior,
Mhm.
right? And so I am not one to demonize an entire group of people because of uniform, but we also are very aware of misconduct. How do you
Mhm.
balance, right, when you're having these conversations with young people about, okay, there's a way to deal with things to keep you behind safe. I know that sounds like you're having the conversation that all parents have with their little young black people
Mhm.
when they send them out into the world. How are you balancing those conversations between good cop and let's make sure you get home?
Exactly. So with that, in that balance in the book, it just that's where the anti-bullying comes from, because it's able to show, well, here's this kid that was messing with me, but in order for me to get help, here comes Barky, the cool cop is with the actual cop. So now we have this respect, saying, okay, I need the police to help me instead of you know dogging the police. I need them to help me at this point. So that's really pretty much how the book kind of entails it. It makes it easier for the child to kind of understand it, like you said, whether parents or not, because I've seen to where some of the parents are actually telling the kids, the cops did this and the cops did that,
Yeah, yeah. It can
and
be.
they're raised like that.
It's a balancing act, right? Because
It is.
Al Sharpton says it all the time. Reverend Al, when he's on Morning Joe, yeah, we want policing in our community because there's sometimes there's bad people, but we don't want to be mistreated in our community, and we don't want to feel like it's an occupied force in our communities.
Exactly.
And it sounds like
Mhm.
you've earned some respect amongst the community because getting to respect the black folk, we may not tell you, a lot of, oops, am I having one of those we just by ourselves conversations out in public?
I think so, but I mean, you
I'm
turn
gonna go
left, you
there. I'm
turn
gonna go
left.
there. I'm gonna go there. Cause see,
Okay, she's
sometimes
gonna go left on y'all.
I'm gonna be polite. I'm gonna be respectful though, right?
Okay.
Always, cause it's with
Mhm.
love. But sometimes our white brothers and sisters don't recognize we really don't care what they talking about, even though they think we should. And there's a different level of respect that comes when you give black folk respect. It looks like you've been doing the work because there's some black folk that even don't have that kind of respect. What's it like for you when you go in the community and you are getting that respect? Like you said, they called you, they didn't call the news.
Mm-mm. You know, um, I never really thought about. I guess it kind of makes me feel. I wonder though. I'm like, why y'all call me? I mean, but it makes me feel good knowing that I had that connection, because at the end, that is the goal: is to go out and people can. talk about the problem, but they're not a part of the solution. And so it allows me to be who I am, which is a solution provider. I like to come up with ways and figure out how we can do this thing and make a change and difference.
Well, it sounds like you got a lot of
Yeah.
confidence and a lot of experience. I mean, and I hate to say it like that because it's almost like saying you sound so, you're very articulate. I mean, but confidence is something that, a lot of, it's been beaten out of us, right? Not me.
Uh,
Not me.
Wait a
so,
minute. I mean,
so the recorder, talk about why you want to
yes.
be the Marion County Recorder.
Well, I am so glad you asked that question. Honestly, the reason why I want to be the Marion County Recorder. Well, first, let me give you some of my professional experience. I do have 20 plus years of dealing with customer service and in the public sector. And again, when I talked earlier about raising funds, I do help faith-based organizations raise about $1 million or more to fund their cause. And so the story goes, here is a young one of seven that is taking care of their father who is very, very ill and is on his deathbed.
Mm.
And he says to me, I want to will you my house. And I'm like, we're not dead. How can you will something that you own? So, but at the same time, I said, well, now I need to figure this thing out. So I didn't know what to do, didn't know where to turn. But a friend of mine said, have you went down to the recorder's office? And I said, the recorder's office? And I'm like, for what? He said, well, you can go there and get the quit, not quit, QUIT, quit claim deed, get things switched in your name and take care of all of this so that the house is in your name so you can sell it. And I thought, oh my goodness. So I became the product or of the recorder's office. I became that customer. I became that one that walked in there that didn't know. Now, they don't advise you anything legally, but I was that one that needed that assistance.
Mm.
And once I received the assistance that I needed, took it to my dad for him to sign it, he passed away.
Mm.
And this was 5 years ago. And ever since then, even before now, I have vowed to tell everybody else and to educate them on what the recorder office does, which we know that it holds public records, obviously, of liens, deeds, mortgages, and more. So that is really when I truly, and didn't know that I was campaigning 5 years ago. You
Okay.
would be surprised. Yes, you would be surprised how many Marion County residents do not know what the recorder office has to offer.
Hmm.
They think it is the 100-year-old newspaper. And they see me and they say, "Oh yeah, I know about the recorder. Are you applying there? Are you going to write a story on me?" And I'm like, "No, no, 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 no." And then I just educate, and like I said, I didn't know. And so when the office became available, I thought, you know what? This is the perfect time to do that. It's the perfect time to run. I have the passion. I have the experience. I'm very well respected in the community, and I have ideas. I have ideas. If I am elected to be in the office, I have ideas, and we can talk about those. But you look like you might want to chime in, so I know this is two
Well,
ways. So is it
no,
something
no.
I need to
Hey,
say?
I know. Listen. I'm gonna tell you something. You're engaging when you speak, so I don't mind. I was just sitting back listening, and I got wrapped up. Sorry, I know I'm supposed to be the host, but I got caught up for a minute. And if you guys are liking what Faith is talking about, there's a link right there on that Facebook Live. You can donate to her campaign. We try to make sure all these turn lefts now are fundraisers. So if you like what they're talking about, click on their donate button so that you can help their campaign, because every campaign takes dollars. It just does. So, you said you had some ideas for the recorder's office.
Yeah.
Share those with us.
Mhm. Absolutely. So, because of my dad, he was a veteran as well. He did not get his DD 214 recorded. So, it would have taken me some time to prove that he was in the military and get the flag and all of that. So, again, because of that, I vowed when elected to bring more veterans into the recorder's office to record their DD 214. I'm working with some now. That's about a few hundred or so veterans that are homeless.
Mm.
And I would love to work with them to get their DD 214 recorded because it also will give them benefits. I have a whole program that I want to work with them that will give them like a photo ID so then they can go and get their medication and things like that. So working with the veterans is huge for me. And then also diversity. Now let's just understand diversity. It's just not about Afro Americans. Okay,
Right.
diversity is inclusion of all. It could be your gender, your race. I want to make sure that there's definitely a diverse group because of customer service representatives as well. We want to make sure that we are represented in all races because at the last time I looked, money is green, and help. We want to make sure that people come in that they're able to get the help to spend their money there if they want to record a document,
Yeah.
be able to be serviced and
Mhm.
to be able to be serviced. So we do talk a lot about the recorder's office, but the customers, which are the Marion County residents, I want to make sure that they have that same experience, continue to have the same experience that I had because
Mhm.
I came in very distraught,
Mm.
in tears and upset. And I just want to make sure that the customer service representatives that work there are continue to be taken care of because we know happy employees, happy customers start to tell, and then that's how we continue to grow.
And see, I like that.
So
You
that's just
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was gonna say that's a few of my plans. Is I don't want to tell it all because people listen. They be like, hey, I mean,
Well, but here's the
reading
deal.
at the ballot.
Here's the deal
Hang on a
though.
little bit with
When you do a
it.
show like this, right, or when it's recorded, if you hear your idea
Oh,
again, it's date and time stamped. So
oh,
you can say your ideas now, and it's recorded like you want to do at the recorder's office. It's date and time stamp. So if you've never heard this idea after today and it starts to pop up, then you know where they got it from.
oh.
You know where they got it from.
Well, exactly. So
There
if
you,
that's the case,
yeah. Listen, because you
honestly,
gotta,
when I
my advice, real talk. You trying to get people to support you,
Mhm.
so you got to give them a reason to.
Yeah.
So you can't keep your ideas to
Mhm.
yourself.
And you know what? And that's good because being grassroots as a candidate, you're not told these things. You're told keep some of your ideas at a breast because you don't want someone taking your ideas because I have heard some things that I've said be repeated, and I'm like, oh, I said that, but it's good that you say that because
Well, it
this is
must
the
be a good
platform.
idea then. If they taking your idea and repeating it, that means it's a good idea. But if you date and time stamp it, and then you go to the YouTube
Mhm.
page and say, "See, this is when I said it," they still, it's my idea. I mean, let them own up to it. But I mean, real talk, Shay. I mean, listen, I,
Well, another
you,
one of the biggest things that I am doing is I'm educating.
yeah.
People think that, the educator is not a big secret, but I think it's just the way how I'm educating. Because again, I spoke to an older lady on another side of town, trying to, venture off on the west side. She was in a home for 100 years, and they were coming to coming for her home, and she was trying to say, how can I do it? And I thought, well, you're talking to the best person here right now. And I told her that I was running, but more importantly, how she could get a copy of that deed. And she was an older lady, and sometimes they really don't too much understand technology.
Right.
So that's what I want to do. I want to go in and to look and see how I can help the older generation because right now we know that they use stamp and they mail, and if they come to the office, we want to make it very comfortable for them when they come. So things like that. But education to me is key, key, key because it's more than mortgages.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than because that's of course we know that's the action between the properties, but there's more things that you can record.
Mm-hmm.
I want to educate you can record the will because if I had recorded my mom's will and trust, I wouldn't have been sitting on the edge of the bed on New Year's Eve going through a box of papers crying my eyes out because I
Hmm.
could have recorded it and not worry about it anymore. So educating the people on you can make anything a public record if you don't mind nobody seeing it. So we need to educate and let everybody else know what else is offered. What else can we do to help them to make sure that whatever that they have that's important to them, those documents that are important to them, that you don't have to worry about. I can't find this. I can't. My parents' plot information.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I want to have that around the house? I don't want to be reminded of the place where they're so I can just take that plot information right down to the recorder's office, and I am, and get it recorded. And if I ever need it, want to get my plot next to my mom or dad, I can go pull it up at my fingertips, and I have the information readily available.
So basically, you look at the recorder's office like as a back in my IT mind, okay, as a backup
Hmm.
server. Like I always think about how do I keep my data? How do I keep I have a personal cloud, and I've got this and I've got that.
Yes.
And basically, what you're saying is these documents, because they're legal documents, you can utilize because this is a government entity, and we pay for it from with our tax dollars to run this
Yes.
office. You can store
Hmm.
and keep track. Cause I tell you what, quick story. M- uh,
Hmm.
my brother and I were having a little uh, disagreement about my parents' will, and we couldn't actually find it. And I ended up having to go to
Hmm.
the lawyer that drafted it, and then they charged me a fee, to get it back. But once I had it in my hand, I was good to go. But if I had known that
Yeah.
I could have had that at the recorder's office, I could have just
Recorded.
been like, "Yo, that's good information to have."
Exactly. And people don't, they really don't know that. We are very uneducated in what the recorded office does. I say the recorder's office is like a little hidden gem. Outside of mortgages, I mean, that's almost, you have to do that. But what else can we do, outside of that? And like I said, I could have, I could have just avoided a bunch of tears a few days ago
I
because I
love
could have
it.
just recorded it and not sit there and look at it all day long.
I love it. I
So,
love it.
yeah. Mhm.
So
And
basically,
also
you're saying you
training, I
want to
don't
make
think I,
sure that the recorder's office is a community space and it's community oriented.
yes, and be there to service the community. We're there for the community. The community needs to know that anything that you don't have to worry about, heaven forbid, this is the worst case, but if the house burns down, all of your important papers are gone. And so like I said, anything that you want to make public, I want to educate them, let them know it's more than just mortgages. And mortgages important, but that's almost a given. What else does recorder has to offer?
I
And I
love
think,
it.
like I said, I didn't know that I was going to end here, but because of my dad and his last dying wish to will me the home, I landed there, and I've been campaigning for the recorder's office ever since then and didn't even recognize it. So,
Yeah, and
yeah.
we never know what the thing is going to be that triggers us to be in public service, right? I never when it for me it was RIFRA. It was the denial of my humanity, based on belief systems. I'm not trying to. I don't ever disparage anybody's belief systems, but your belief system shouldn't deny me my civil rights, right? and
Exactly.
and that was the trigger.
Exactly.
And here I am 7 years later, still out here fighting, for the civil rights of everybody. Because once you start peeling back that onion, right, you be like, well, this ain't right. Well, this ain't right. Who's fighting for this? And I like that was
Exactly.
your trigger.
It was. I don't know if you know or not, but I am a precinct committee person as well, and I've been a PC in Lawrence on the east side for about 10 years. And one thing I can say from the political standpoint is it's quite different for me now because I'm used to working with the candidates. I remember I was out canvassing for Hogsett and Congressman Carson, and I was out there alone, knocking doors, and I was getting chased by dogs and what those cats do, sis by cats, and you know, and you're on your phone canvassing, and it's a lot of work.
It is.
But now that I'm on the other side, it's it's quite different. It's
Yeah.
very, very different. Raising money for somebody else is one thing, but when you have to raise or get the money raised for yourself, that's something totally different. So if anybody's watching and you all want to help volunteer for my campaign, please go to my page and let me Faith James Kimbrough, let me know you want to volunteer because it even with volunteering, if you're not doing it from the heart and you don't have a reason to do it, it's going to be like a call center. People will call in and not know the other person called in or the other person called in, and here you are, the manager, left alone to continue on.
And that's what's up. I mean,
It's
getting out
different.
here in these streets is so important. Like you, I started out knocking doors for other candidates, and then not. But I like canvassing. Like I can't. We Stonewall. We usually do a day of action for our endorsed
Mm-hmm.
candidates, And like that's the best day
Mhm.
to go out and be in the community and talk to the people. I missed it in 2020 with stupid COVID. Stupid COVID. I want to get back out again.
I know. I mean, now, even like you said, I still go out. Even with COVID, I mask up and I do a lot of. I mean, I'm telling you, I have honestly, and I'm not one to lie, but I have touched thousands and thousands of Hoosiers, and I'm telling you, I be out there, and it really is fun. People say, "You out there by yourself today?" Yes,
Yeah.
because it's just what I want to do. I mean, and when they don't know what the recording office does, it gives me the opportunity to talk and to get to know them. And canvassing is the best part of campaigning to me. Never meet a stranger. Never
Absolutely.
meet a stranger.
Well, so you like me,
It's
your
fun.
energy levels is just like
Mhm.
mine. You know, I feel like I'm talking to myself.
I know. I was like, I gotta be on this show with this ball of energy. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep up with Indiana on. I was
Please,
like,
you
oh,
doing just fine because I was like, oh, I was engaged. I was like, okay, I'm loving what she talking about because what you know what you're talking about is coming from the heart. It's like you may not necessarily have run for office or been involved with a whole bunch of campaigns or you're just about okay. I want to be down with this community. And I know that I can be an administrator because I'm administrating all these other things.
mhm.
I like the approach. That's why we have to. Our big tent has to let everybody get in. Because you get different ways of doing things.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's exciting. I think it's exciting.
It is very, very exciting. Like I said, when the opportunity came up, I thought, now I know how to help other people run a campaign. I mean, and I thought, well, I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. Why not? And I have been told, no so many times. Wait your turn. It's not your turn yet. It's not time yet. And this time, I said, I'm gonna turn left. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna turn left, and I'm getting ready to do what I feel I was called to do. And I know that my daddy and my mom is in heaven saying, "Go, go, 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 go." Now you can put all of that faith in action, all of what you have learned and what you went through. When you were putting them to rest, what you went through and educating for years and years and years. People say, "How do you know so much about the recorder's office?" Because I had to go there. I was the customer.
Exactly.
I was the customer. So I am really, I tell people it's not really about the destination. It's not really about being the recorder. It's about the journey.
Mm.
It's about every Marion County resident I have met, every elderly person that I have met, and every single color or race that does not know what the recorder office does. That's what this has been about. This is what I really call the race. The race isn't really against my opponent.
Mm-hmm.
The race is against myself and the time that I have to get this information out. Whether I win or lose, I'm still going to be faith to action. I don't say lose, they say concede. And I'm not going to concede, but I'm just saying, I'm not conceding that I'm going to always remember this journey. I'm going to always keep it close to me and remember where I came from and then where I'm heading.
I love it. So, not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily have to be with this campaign. Excuse me.
Mm.
But when have you accomplished something and you surprised yourself with what you were able to accomplish? Like you went into it and you were like, I don't know. And then you came out and were like, I did that.
Well, that could be a few things.
Well, come on with
I
them then.
would say, honestly, I would probably say when I became an author.
Mm.
I did it, because I just dreaded it. I thought, oh Lord, who wants to sit here and write down your thoughts? Who wants to sit here and I did not. I'm telling you, I kicked and screamed, and people kept saying, "You're going to write a book. You're a great mentor. You're a great coach. You're going to help somebody." And I thought, you're going to help somebody because I'm not. I mean, I was like, no, 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 no. And I would like to give credit to Faith McKinney. She actually had this I don't know, UIT, some type of piece of equipment, and I was able to I was able to speak my words
Mm-hmm.
into,
Like
and it just typed it out.
yeah, a dictation machine. Yeah.
Yes, I thought, ooh, I I said, oh my goodness. I said, this is exciting. And I said, okay. I took a deep breath. I said, I can do this now. And then once I, authored the book, it still surprised me to see that it's on Amazon. And I was surprised to see all of the people that supported when I had my book signing.
That's
I was
what's up.
surprised to see I was surprised to see people that I went to school with in the sixth grade that came out to the book signing. I was just surprised to see family members that traveled across the states to come back home to be with me. I'm surprised that I'm not crying because it's bringing up a lot of bottled up emotions. Because, like you said, when you do something that you never thought you could do, you really are surprised, but you're thankful, you're grateful, and you truly can say, "I did it.
Yeah,
I
that's
did it."
dope. And to be
I'm an author.
published? Ooh,
It's published.
oh my
If you go to
goodness.
Amazon.com right now and you type in "Faith in Action: 7 Steps to a Fulfilled and Purposeful Life," you're gonna see it. $5 too. It's real cheap.
Oh my
I mean, I
goodness.
didn't do it for the money.
Congratulations. Give me another example because that was, and I love the way you tell stories. So,
Well, let me see here. Oh, I don't know if you want to call this one a surprise or I was totally surprised
okay.
when my daughter came home and said she was going to the army. Uh, excuse me. I said, what did you say? You are my only child. My only child. You're a girl, and
Eh.
you want to do what?
Now you.
Totally surprised. I thought she wanted to be a pediatrician. She still can. But I said, what? I said, Kayla Christine Kimbrough. I call her by her whole government name.
Our government. Now, Faith. Now
I
you
was
know
totally
women can do anything. That we can go in the military just like they. See now you okay. See, I had a Catherine Black moment just then. Yeah, I mean, literally, my mama just came jumping through that screen talking about, and you a girl.
I know, but it's my only child,
Yeah, I got that.
But I had to give it up because when she turned 18, she said, "Oh, I'm gone."
But you know what? That means
And I
you
can't
raised
wait.
a daughter to be of service. I mean, you
Yes.
raised a daughter to be willing. I'm a chicken. I ain't gonna lie. People who've been watching this show since 2017 know I am a chicken, and I thank God for all those people that are willing to put their lives on the line so I can sit up here and talk mess every Thursday because I'm a chicken and I don't want to get dirty, so I wouldn't have been able to crawl through the mud. So I ain't lying. You raised a child that said, I want to and I am willing to give the ultimate sacrifice for my country. Yo,
Yeah.
that's a crazy accomplishment right there.
Yeah. It is. And I didn't look at that until she got through basic. When she got through basic, I said, wow, she had to get through basic. I said, you really are serious about this. But I was totally surprised when she signed up and enlisted. But
Well,
we're
congratulations. So,
okay with it now.
is she still in?
Yeah, she's still in. She's got, I think, 2 more years.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, thank you for your service, Miss Kayla. Keep. We're gonna try to do our best to keep you safe and keep you out needless wars. But thank you for being willing to step up, and your mama must have raised you right. All right, now tell the people where they can find you, so when they want to volunteer, they can get a hold
Yeah.
of you and that kind of stuff.
Right. So they can go to my Facebook page, Faith James Kimbrough for Marion County Recorder. You can also email me at elect at faithrecorder.com. And you can also, reach out to me on my personal page, which is Faith James Kimbrough on Facebook. Definitely looking for volunteers. For sure, for
Excellent,
sure.
excellent. They can message you and say and drop their
Yes,
info. Okay, and then do
yes.
you have any fundraising events that are coming up anytime soon or
I have
any?
one. I have one coming up in February. It's not all the way together just yet, but I do have one coming up in February.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate you
Yeah,
coming
so
on to
I'll put
share.
that on my page.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you. I know I said I will share that information on my page, but thank you so much for having me here. I've had a great time. I hope that
We ain't done yet.
people have been educated. Okay. 'Cause I thought you was gonna talk about that bill. Go ahead.
Well,
Okay.
you want to talk about the bill?
No, you were gonna talk about some things that's going on today and some
Yeah,
other things
yeah.
you said you were
I
having
wanted,
with January the 6th and
yeah, I wanted us to have a. I wanted to do the the political part of your campaign and get that out of the way. But
yes.
I want to take this last 10 minutes of our show to talk about. It's January 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Tell the people where you were a year ago when the insurrectionists tried to thwart democracy.
Trying to think. I was probably at the nursing home with my dad. This was
Hmm.
actually the day before I went to the recorder's office to get everything taken
Oh,
care of. So at the nursing home, with my dad, caring for my
did
dad.
did you get a chance to watch any of the nonsense that was going on? It's probably too much stimulus than at the nursing home.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I did not, to be honest, because I was definitely with him. He was really in his very, very last days. So
Okay, so
I
you
was with
didn't
him.
watch it live, but I know that you watched the the subsequent coverage of it. Share with us.
Hmm.
Again, this ain't got nothing to do with you being running for recorder. I just want to just rap with you. What when you
That's
watch?
the top.
Yeah, yeah. When you got a chance to hear and see the footage of what was going on January 6th at our people's house, how did you feel about it?
Honestly, I thought first I thought like, what in the world is going on here? You know, I thought first of all was disrespectful,
Mm-hmm.
bold, and I just wonder what goes through people's minds to even think that you could do something like that. It just shows where we're heading in the world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very, very. I don't even think there's enough words in the dictionary, honestly, that even with this
Not any good ones
definition,
anyway.
huh?
Not any good ones anyway.
We just I just honestly it was kind of one of those moments where you're just kind of taken back,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
where
Mm-hmm.
you're just kind of looking at it with a
Side, yeah, side
is
eye.
this
I
but
remember sending a
yeah.
message to my boss because we were still working from home that day, and
Hmm.
in IT you dealing with servers and software, and people are going about their business, and I literally sent an instant message to my boss. I was like, "Oh, so we just gonna pretend like ain't nothing else happening today," because we were, I was working from home and I had it on the computer, and I just
Hmm.
my mind was blown. I mean, I knew that was the January 6th, and they had talked about the rally, and
Yeah.
and I'm a junkie when it comes to politics. I mean, I'm a it's
Oh,
kind of
you are. Yes, you are.
it's kind of bad. It's kind of bad. But
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
was listening. I had I was working on one workstation because I got like different workstations in my office, and I had it on
Hmm.
another workstation, and I I was like dumbfounded. I could not. It was like being a sophomore in high school and watching the Challenger explosion. It was like being 31 years old and watching the towers come down. I mean, that's how insane and crazy it was for me. Like, this is our democracy. This is what are we doing
Yes.
here? And
Hmm.
the same group of people who are all about law and order, we're beating up law
Hmm.
enforcement. We stand with police
In
officers.
the
The thin blue line, but they was beating them down with flagpoles with the American flag on it, and it
mind.
was. I mean, I was taken aback, and
Hmm.
it was a whole
Yes.
lot to
And I
digest.
need to apologize. I was not at the no. In my mind, I'm sorry. We're doing this interview. Things are going so fast. This was getting like towards the anniversary of his death, so that's why I'm like, wait a
No,
minute, let me
no.
retract that. Everything we say can and will be held against you, but I'm thinking, like, no, 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 no. This whole incident, I mean, I totally, like I said, I totally remember it. But you think about it, it's so much drama when you have other things going on. It's
Yeah.
like,
Oh.
what do you pay attention?
Yeah.
I mean, it was so. I'm still can't believe that more wasn't done.
Like it
I
wasn't
still, I still,
worse, or that.
No, I'm talking about done to the ones that did the,
The,
all of the
yeah.
damage and all those things like that. It seemed like it was talked about, and then it just went away. And we have to wait to the anniversary or something to bring it back to say, oh, well, did we miss some facts? Did we make sure that we do everything? So, yeah, I mean, it's going to go down. It's going to be history.
Mm-hmm.
It's going
Mm-hmm.
to be history. But
Mm-hmm.
like you said, the flagpole, the American flagpole, right? But you just went all up in there, just I'm gonna get a little. You just went all up in there, like you just,
like like
I
like
mean,
the, right. And so from and I, like I said, I'm a junkie, so I remember
yeah,
when I buried, I was my mom's full-time, well, I was my mom's part-time caregiver because I had two aunties that helped me, and then I was my daddy's
okay,
full-time caregiver. So it's easy to get
mhm,
caught up, and you were focused in what you were supposed to be focused in on, and that was your daddy. But that being said, I'm
right,
gonna go ahead and just kind of give this last little rant about January 6th. First of all, I want to give a shout out to my girl Destiny Wells, who tonight, who is a officer in the service. She announced her run for Secretary of State tonight. I'm so excited about that. As of right
mhm,
now, I don't know if she has a candidate that's running against her in the primary, but if she doesn't, we need to get down with this young lady. She's the truth. Number two, she wanted to use this. I remember, she talked about wanting to use this date because it was a significant date, and the significance of this
mhm.
date is multifaceted. We have a lot of people in our state who want to pretend like the things that we saw a year ago we didn't see. They want to gaslight us. They want to pretend like it didn't happen. They even want to tell us that if you didn't know the video was on January 6th, you would think it was a regular tourist event. Now, I don't know about you, but I have never taken bear spray when I'm touring a museum or a Capitol building. I,
Absolutely.
I've been to DC
Mm-mm.
several times. I've never taken, billy clubs and zip ties to the Lincoln Memorial. Never done it. And then
Never.
I watch these videos of people who are, the Orange Menace supporters, and they say that it was Antifa, or they say it was Black Lives Matter or the FBI, and it's like,
Mm-mm.
see, these people are a direct result of what happens when you defund public education because we are not teaching people how to disseminate information the way it's supposed to be disseminated. This is exactly.
Ooh.
I don't want to call them. I don't want to call them. I'm just gonna say it's like these people. A sucker is
Mm-hmm.
born every day. That's what my parents
Mm.
taught me. A sucker is born every day, and the Orange
Every
Menace
day.
managed to find a whole bunch of them that were willing to sacrifice their lives for a
Wow.
lie, for a great big old lie about something that had been debunked. And Senator Braun and Representative Banks and Representative Walorski and Representative Pence, you are all complicit in this nonsense because you do not denounce Senator Young. You on the ballot. You do not
Mm.
denounce the insurrection, the attempted coup, the treason by all these people who were trying to thwart democracy, all because America is browning. America is
But
browning.
wow.
Pretty soon we're all going to be a minority majority nation. Eventually these people are going to have to build an alliance with another group of people for them to get whatever it is on their agenda taken care of, just like brown
Exactly.
and black people have been doing it for a long time. We come together and
Mm-hmm.
build alliances. It's
Mm-hmm.
no longer going to be, but they're doing everything they can with these voting rights bills and all this other stuff to keep us from
Yeah.
exercising our power. And that's why we have
Mm-hmm.
to get involved in 2022 because they will come again. And it's only
Oh
because
yeah.
you had stupid old Jim Jordan and Jim Banks that were doing all this because they're stupid,
Mm-hmm.
and they the least intelligent among them were trying to do this thing is why it failed. If
Exactly.
had they had someone a little bit more
Epic
intelligent,
failure.
had they had some people that were just a little
Mm-hmm.
bit more intelligent and knew how to do some things, we would be having a different conversation right now. because they only want democracy for themselves. And like President Biden said this morning, you can't love America only when you win. And I don't know if y'all heard that. I listened to it this morning because I believe. Listen, I believe in this thing. I believe in this grand experiment which is self-governing. And I know the historical context of who we are as Black people, women, and gay people in this state and how we've been in this country and how we've been disparaged. I don't take. But guess what? The Constitution is written and it's been amended to make sure that I'm included. So I'm gonna keep fighting for it because I don't want to be ruled over. Hell, there are people in my party that wish they could control me, but they can't.
I know how that feels. Yeah,
so
they can't.
Today, I want to, America and Indiana, let's not take for granted what we have. And let's make sure that we hold the people who incited this silliness and this coup and cultivated this big lie, pay for it in the ballot box in 2022. Make sure you go get registered to vote. But more importantly, after you register, take your behind to the poll because they're going to do everything. Make sure you got your ID. And if you don't have ID, listen, we got to work that out. We got time to work that out.
Bring your water.
Bring your water. Bring your water because they're going to want you to stand in line. Now, I want you to understand long lines at the polling places is voter suppression. It is not, shouldn't be like that because if you go in Hamilton County, you go in Geist, there's never any long lines. How do I know? I used to live in Geist. I used to be a precinct committee person in North Lawrence. So I know.
Okay.
So, Happy New Year, y'all. 2022 is here. We have an opportunity to do some amazing things. And let's get to work and let's do it with love. Let's do it with love in our hearts because we love our cities. We love our state. We love our country. But more importantly, we love our fellow man. All right. Miss Kimbrough, thank you so much for joining us on Turn Left.
I appreciate it. I had a great time.
Yes, and look, we are booked all the way out to the end of February. I got some candidates, some non-candidates. I got a show with a couple of my favorite mayors. No offense, Mayor Hogshead. I mean, I got some other ones. I like you, but I got some other ones. But we're going to make sure that we keep it fresh and keep bringing you the content that you need so that you can find out what's happening at our state house and who the candidates are that you can support. All right, y'all. Y'all have a fantastic night. I will holler at y'all next week. Peace.